My topic here is to also discuss cybersecurity, but when I will be discussing cybersecurity, the whole paradigm would be to provide you with the visibility of how we can, at 63SAT, which is a subsidiary to 63 Moons, can empower you in terms of giving you the visibility of threat actors, how they can do harm to you, and what kind of the capability you get when we talk about it. So with that, let me start. I have a small video, and I'm little. The resolution is bad because it's been picked up from a dark web. But I want you to listen carefully, and basis that we'll flow with that. So with that, let's start.
There is only one way this pandemic is going to go. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
Absolutely. What COVID-19 taught us was very important thing, resilient. I mean, in a company, you always talk about business continuity planning, ability to continue in terms of any disruptions, whether it's technological or human or any other factor. But lately, COVID-19 taught us that we need to be ready for any eventualities that may occur to human being upcoming. That could be a disease, which could be biologically made, manufactured, a threat that could come from a technology, an attack that could be known and unknown, and anything that can disturb the society, the community in any way, the manner they perform normally. And this cartoon, The Fox is in the House, is a very relevant one. Historically, fox has been associated with cunningness and intelligence. And while we all dimmed and talked about fox, and there was a story my grandmother used to tell me, then whenever there's a rain during the sun, the fox is getting married. And we never used to think what does it mean. But now when you talk about it, you can't take away the fox because it actually has come to you. It has come on your mobile, it has come on your desktop, it is there in your servers. In fact, every touch point of your human life, wherever you look at, the fox is there. And this fox, what I mean, is an anomaly of cybersecurity. The security that we used to talk about 10, 15 years back, which was IT, information technology, has now become the word cyber and the security along with it. So the threat is now with you, whether you like it or you don't like it. Whether you're a common man, an individual in an enterprise or a government, or anybody who is anyhow associated with technology, even remotely for that matter, the threat is actually with you. You cannot deny it's not there. You can tell that you can even not tell it may not harm at point of time, because as 22 years a cyber professional, I have seen companies who have been attacked. The threat actors sat within their environment for 22 to 30 days, even without them knowing. So you cannot tell now that it may not come to me, because there are only two things. Either the cyber threat actors have already come to you and you're not aware, or they are coming for you. So in reality, the fact is that the threat is very much alive, it's very much there to you, it's just a matter of time that it's going to hit you. Now, we look at the news, and this is nothing new, and Dr. Chaudhary was talking about this, but in reality, if we look at news, and it's not a good news all point of time, but it does come at a very bad state. And slowly and very uneventually, AI is now grappling up and changing the way the normal society looks at it. And the worst part is that it is coming to our loved ones also, the people who we love and care. Okay? Now, I'll give you a real-time information on this. Couple of years back, my wife got a call, typically Jamtara style. And the man said he's calling from Reserve Bank of India, and the card she's using has expired. Not knowing what to do, she called me and she said, Sumit, there's a man from RBI, he says, my card is expired and I need to renew it, he's asking for my details. So I said, okay, when next time he calls me, just get into conference call. And he called momentarily later. And then she took me in the call and I asked him, which department of Reserve Bank of India have started calling for card renewal? And he was unable to answer. And a few times I asked, he didn't reply, and then abruptly the call stopped. This was one instance. The other instance happened with my colleague of mine where he received a WhatsApp video call from a particular lady in an unrelated manner. And thankfully, I had appraised him that it will come to you because you're using the same number, and WhatsApp is notorious for these kind of video calls, and it did came to him, and he was able to take screenshot as I provided to him and upload on the cyber cell. So he was well protected. But look at the other way around it. Now, the technology has changed the factor of it. There would be a call from my number to you with my voice, very similar to me, with my face actually matching to my dimensions, and saying that I'm in need of a money or I need your help, and you need to transfer certain money or an amount to me immediately. Not knowing what you do, on the face value, you may transfer that money because you have no way of knowing that whether that video call or that call that came to you is actually Sumit who is speaking or is actually another fake. It is disturbing. It's unwarranted, and more importantly, it is there as we speak. It's not the future, it is the future right now. And some of these clips which I've taken from newspaper does give that kind of visibility to how the threat has moved away from just being an OTP threat to a threat where you just cannot recognize that whether this call is a genuine call or this call is not a genuine call, and whatever the person is speaking is a genuine or not genuine video. So the AI has actually taken over a lot of ways and form in which the humans are unable to comprehend what is happening to them. So when you go back, take a step and moment to think about it, is where it is going to hit you hard. Because now it's not about protecting your company. It's not even protecting the organization at large. It is protecting you and someone you love very dearly. That is how the AI has come so far. The time has gone where the next generation firewall, the antiviruses used to be protecting your organization. Now the threat is with you. It is you have to protect you. So what are we doing to about it? So what we are doing here is in two ways. Is we are going to empower and have the capability, and that is where 63 Sats comes into picture, and we'll try to protect and manage and see the visibility what is happening on the ground, and provide you with the capability to run investigations on such kind of threats or matters that needs understanding of where the threat is residing from and who are people who are involved in those level of threats. Now, we covered this kind of investigation in 4 sectors. One is for our law enforcement members or teams who really want to understand the level of grievances or grievance into this, is where the threat is coming from, whether this is a state actor or an actor that is sitting within the environment or sitting within the country who is trying to give such problem. Financial part of it. So if there's a financial fraud that has happened, how it has happened, where it happened, and so forth, those kind of capability. The third more important one is the cyber threat intelligence. While everybody talks about artificial intelligence and machine learning, but in reality, the ability to AI to take this level of form is only given by human brain only. That is the power of human brain. So, and thankfully to our government, we have put regulations and controls to control the way AI should formulate. But a lot has to be done in terms of that era. And we provide that capability to you to understand what can be done in terms of the cyber threat intelligence. What are the vectors? What are the people? Where in interaction? What is the social engagement they have? The triage that is they're forming into it, and so on and so forth. Finally, more important part of it is the trust and safety. You can use the same software for securing people's life also. Because that software gives you an ability to do interaction with social media environment so that you can understand, is there something that is coming up or something boiling up in social media that may take a form which may affect the safety of people or the trust of people, or they may change certain environment. So all the four areas where the law enforcement, the cyber threat, the intelligence, all that is covered in terms of the software. And this is the only platform that we have that gives you a holistic view. It's just not about certain data points that you can see. It is giving you a relationship environment, like the one you can get in LinkedIn. How many people are connected to me, my first degree, my second degree, my third degree. Very similar to this. Not only, it can also connect to various others databases also. So we can connect to other APIs, other structural, non-structural database to provide you a holistic view of what's happening with those particular profiles or users who are trying to create ruckus or trying to create problem within your environment or within the structure of the country. I'm going to play a small video, and I want you to look at how we do it. While we are at cybersecurity, we cannot miss one country. Can you name the country? The dragon. Couple of days, no, almost like 3 weeks back, I was at Defense Security Summit, which happened in New Delhi. It was a great event, and I had an opportunity to meet some of the great people at Defense Forces. And And you rightly said, Professor, that military doctrine is now getting aligned to the cybersecurity, and the cybersecurity has now become part of national security. And they were talking about how there are changes happening in the field of warfare. So one, there is changing happening with you, but that's not the only change that is happening with you. The military also getting deepfake videos about capability that never existed are existing. How many people are following the Russian-Ukraine war? Can I have raise of hand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now it's an interesting war that is happening, not in terms of the manpower that is getting killed and obviously the loss of life, which I'm deeply sorry for that. It should never have happened. But what is happening is, if you look at the way these two countries are fighting, not only where the human lives are going away or they're dying, but there is something that is happening on the technological front also. These people are fighting a technological war also. They're fighting an attack vectors. They're fighting between each other in terms of crippling their own or others' technologies or infrastructures using various threats and unknown threats both ways. And interestingly, our neighbor, the Dragon, is also doing something very interestingly. And before I came on this event, 2 days back, I got this, the Chinese ATP, Earth Ganga, compromises 48 government organizations on 5 continents. Is India included? Can anyone answer? Well, answer to that. But here's what it is all about. It's not the latest one. I'm sure everybody heard about the iZone leaks. Yeah. They and the iZone share the same infrastructure, interestingly. And they haven't used any sophisticated cyber attacks. They only have used standard attack approaches in compromising the agencies or the organization. Which means somebody who has not done their work in the organization. Somebody who has shied away from actually hardening the infrastructure. A lot of time I have seen that you may have the best of infrastructure, best of technologies, but if you haven't configured them properly, it is going to create problem. It is almost like saying you may have the best F-18s, but you have the wrong pilot on the table. Yeah. So these people have done same thing. They have exploited your vulnerabilities, which means your bad configurations, to get the attack vector into the system. And yes, India is part of that. India is definitely part of that, where we have confirmed vectors of attack, the IOCs and everything that this had happened to us. And obviously there is a kill chain which I'm going to cover the end of the part of it, a little complicated. I didn't want to bring it up here. But yes, it is there. It is very much there, and you can see the scale of the attack they are doing right now, sitting in the environment. So let's look at the attack vector, our friends, the Dragon. And this is the first stage they compromise. I haven't used much of the naming convention here, but MITRA is basically a framework of cybersecurity. It is, in a nutshell, it has a framework which has defined a systematically approach of which attack triggers what kind of numbers or system in the platform itself. So they have given numbers to every attack vectors. So you can definitely note down and have a look, or probably after this stage we can have a more in-depth discussion. But because of the space constraint and everything, I've just put a number here, but I will go on explaining to it. Now this threat actor has used multiple MITRA frameworks, and T recognizes the technique in this way. Techniques is the way you approach and compromise a platform or a technology. That is where the T comes into part. And wherever you see the decimal numbering, it's where the sub-technique comes into it. So if you see MITRA 1608.001. It's basically the sub-technique they have used to compromise the framework, the technology itself. Now, what they have done is they have used a trusted capability to compromise an email platform, which is the first one, 1584. And once it is been compromised, they have used the capability to kind of send an email, create an email to an email server, so that it becomes a trusted bond between you and the email server, because you won't trust any email that is coming from outside, correct? So they have compromised the email server and the web services in such a manner that every email that is coming to you becomes a trusted email to you. And in the stage 2, they have built up the trust, and that is where they have used the various techniques in the 1566 and the other part of 1504. They have started you, once they trusted, you will go and click on that particular attachment or that link. And then once you click on the attachment, knowingly, unknowingly, you become the victim of it, which triggers the execution and allows them to access your data and compromise your environment. It's a very simple 3-stage approach in where they have started with compromising, building a trust, and executing the environment. Now, if you look at this slide and you look at the way you receive call for OTPs or your Jamtara tile styles, the first is building the trust that they're calling from a bank. Then once the trust is built, they comprehend and get your OTP. And third is the execution. So 3-step approach in getting where they start and where they get the data from it. Now, what can we do about it? We can do a lot of things jointly along with you, because we have solutions that allows you to protect not only your mobile environment, which as an individual you should, but also your enterprise and obviously the government department also. We can give you solutions around data security, and that's one part. Secure communication, whether that is happening on a mobile environment or whether it's happening on a landline environment. We can give you cloud security. We can provide you risk monitoring capability and the intelligence capability. And all in while we are an Indian company. That's an important part of it. So these technologies are currently available, and the services along with it that allows you to look at your infrastructure. We can allow you to do a lot of assessment in your environment, whether that is simple 27001 or as hard as red teaming activities on any product, services, application that you may think. We can cover those as part of our services portfolio to you. With that, this is where we have brought the companies that are there with us in terms of relationship. We have international collaborations with these companies so that they can work with us, so that we can work with you in providing that level of safety, trust, and more importantly, protecting you and your loved ones and your organization with the data that should remain with you, not with someone who is not supposed to access your data. Thank you so much. As for the lovely audience, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sumit Chauhan, sir. I would quickly like to now invite on stage Mr. Dinesh Dhulapkar is here with us, the founder and trustee for Vibrant Goa Foundation, inviting Mr. Dhulapkar to present a memento to Mr. Sumit Chauhan. And of course, while those pleasantries are being exchanged on the stage, let me also tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are now breaking for lunch. We shall meet here at 2:30. We have a super interesting session coming up by Shubhashish Sarkar, and Shubhashish Sarkar talks about revolutionizing the entertainment with AI and VFX and other technologies.